Hi everyone, welcome to SKR Yoga and Wellness. My name is Sam and today we are doing a class specifically designed for foot strength and articulation. So this is very specific, but this is a really great class to do if you are a dancer and you really need a lot of foot articulation and strength to carry you through any of your dance practices. So we have a lot of really great exercises, but it's going to be short and sweet, all focused on the feet, so that's really great. And I did not intend for that to rhyme, but it did, and we're just going to power on through, starting in a piked position. So sitting all the way down on your sit bones, and I'm just going to stay facing you, but you can use your mat, and you're just going to stretch your feet in front of you, and don't worry about pointing your toes. So you really just want to lengthen your ankle, but keep the toes nice and long so the toes are not scrunched. And then bring your feet as close together as they can, keeping the ankles in one long line. And now this is a very minuscule movement, but super important. You're just going to fan the feet out and then bring them back together. And then once again, fanning the feet outwards. So you're trying to pull, as if someone's pulling your pinky toes farther apart, and then bringing the feet in back together. And we'll repeat that. Bringing the pinky toes apart, coming back in together. And again, apart and back together. And I think that was 4, so this would be 5, pulling back together. And number 6, and keeping the toes nice and long, ankles are elongated. You should feel a little bit of a burn here. 8, and together, and 9, and together, and 10, pulling the feet apart, and back together, and shake out those feet, roll through the ankles, relax. You should have felt that a little bit on the sides of your calves here. So these are muscles called your peroneus longus and brevis that really help with, with strengthening your ankles and also with any kind of balance that you're doing. So really important that we strengthen those. And we're gonna move right along. Now just strengthening the underside, the soles of our feet. So tuck your toes underneath you and then just place your sit bones right on top of your heels here. And then we're going to inhale, reach the arms up overhead, finding a nice tall spine here. And then on an exhale, you're going to open your arms out, twist to the right side, and your arms are reaching in opposite directions. And then inhale, coming back to center. And then exhale, twisting to the left, and inhale, coming back to center. Try to keep your hips nice and steady as we exhale to the right side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the left. You might start to feel this in the soles of your feet a little bit. And repeating again, exhale to the right. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling left. And inhale, center. Twice more, you got this. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. And exhale left. Inhale, center, and release the hands onto the mat. Just softly tap the tops of your feet back down onto the mat, just to reverse that blood flow a little bit. Very nice. We are going to tuck the toes once again, walk the hands forward, coming into a downward dog. So sending the hips up, feeling a nice long line from the top of your head to the base of your tailbone. And from your heels all the way up your legs. And we'll just walk out the feet here. So now we're just focusing on stretching through the calves. And of course are also linked to ankle strength and stability. So just stretching those out, letting them relax. And then we'll walk the feet and the hands into the center of the mat. Just find a ragdoll fold over your legs. And then we'll slowly roll up through the spine, coming to a full standing position. So I'll stay sideways to the mat here for this one. What's going to happen, this is another very small movement, but you're just basically going to try to dome your feet. So try to keep the very tips of your toes and your heels where they are on the mat, and you just want to lift everything else off of the mat. So we're curving the feet up, trying to find a dome, and then flattening the feet back out onto the mat like pancakes. We'll repeat that again. So doming the feet up, and then releasing them back down onto the mat. Continuing to dome through the feet, and release back onto the mat. You might even want to feel like you're literally trying to pinch or pick up the yoga mat underneath you with your feet. Continuing on, I think this is number 6. We're trying to make it all the way to 10, so let's do 4 more. Lifting, doming the feet, and release, and once again, and release. Just kidding, twice more. Dome the feet, release, and this time the last one, doming the feet, and release. Take a second to just wiggle the toes, spread them out nice and wide, and then relax them back into a neutral position. I'm going to turn to face you now. Keep the feet right underneath the hips. Hands can also just come and relax onto your hips, and we're just going to take a few rises onto demi-point here. So feet right underneath your hips as I mentioned, and then just pushing into the balls of your feet, lifting up into demi-point, and then softly lowering the heels back down onto the mat. And again, slowly coming up, finding your full demi-point. Make sure your weight is right on top of your first and second toe, and then softly, like you're landing on a marshmallow, let the heels drop back down. Again, lifting all the way up, weight right on top of your first and second toe, and back down, and lifting up, ankle staying nice and strong, and let's take 4 more. So number 1, lifting all the way up, weight right between your first and second toe, lower down, again lifting up, slowly resisting down, trying to keep those ankles in one solid line as we lift and lower, lower down, and last one, lifting all the way up, and slowly with resistance, lowering down. Now, from here, we're gonna just come into a bit of a soleus stretch. So this is the muscle that is right underneath your calf muscle, or your gastrocnemius, as it is called in anatomy. But how to do this is you're gonna, let's take your right foot forward, left foot back, just a bit wider than hip width distance. So not too wide that you feel off balance, but just enough that when you bend into both knees, you feel a bit of a stretch closer to your Achilles tendon on your left foot here. So the weight is pretty evenly distributed between both feet, but you should feel the stretch entirely in your left leg here. Just feeling that elongating, relaxing into it, and then we'll push to stand, and right away switch feet. So left foot is forward, right foot is back, standing up nice and tall, and then again bending into both legs, relaxing the back of your right calf and soleus. So you should feel this stretch a little bit deeper into the leg and closer down the leg towards your Achilles tendon here. And we'll push to stand, and bringing the feet back together, I am going to turn to face you, and we're going to finish off with tree pose, which is a standing posture in yoga. And the reason I want to do a tree pose is, as I mentioned at the beginning of class, your muscles that surround your ankle really work hard when we're in any kind of balancing pose. No matter what position it is, your ankle and your foot are constantly calibrating to try and hold you there. So it's really important that we strengthen these muscles and work on these surrounding muscles, especially as dancers, to maintain that balance and to really find a lot of structure and stability there. So we're just gonna finish off with a nice tree pose. So from standing on 2 feet, spill all of your weight over into your left foot and just tap your right toe onto the mat to start. And then from here, you're gonna lift that right leg and place the foot in right inside of your inner thigh, and really just find a little bit of pressure there so that that foot can stay. And then we're gonna bring the hands together in front of the heart and just standing up tall here. So this is one of the easier standing postures in yoga, especially if you do come from a dance background. But try to feel, after we've now completed all of that work on the foot and on the ankle, feel that calibration happening in the ankle, and just know that those muscles are there to support you. One image I like to work with in this pose as well is that we literally are a tree, and that there is a network of roots and a network of energy growing out from the bottom of your foot into the floor, into the earth, and that's also what's helping support you here. We'll take one more deep breath, and then release that right foot back down onto the mat nice and slowly. And then right away we're going to the other side. So now spilling your weight into your right foot, lifting your left foot up, finding that same position on the other side. Kind of like a retire, but with a relaxed foot here. And then bringing your hands together in front of your chest, finding that steadiness in the supporting ankle. We're allowing it to calibrate, allowing it to perform these little micro movements to help us find our balance here. Breathing nice and deeply, picturing that network of roots growing out of the bottom of your foot. Taking 2 more breaths here. And softly let that left foot float back down onto the mat. Give yourself a nice big bend, nice plie in the knees, and then push back to stand. That's everything. I hope your feet and ankles are feeling nice and worked, nice and ready for whatever dance class you might have after this. If you liked this video, please don't forget to like and do subscribe to SKR Yoga and Wellness. I put out new videos every single Friday. So that's it. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day.